Welcome to Super Budget Commander episode number 4. As always, a Super Budget Commander deck costs $50 max price, and most cards in the deck can be purchased for less than $1. Don't be fooled by the low price tag. This deck is built to win and win big, so strap in and let's get started. Sedris the Traitor King is a 6-to-cast, 5/5 zombie warrior who gives all creatures in your graveyard unearth. For only 3 mana you can resurrect any creature in your graveyard. It will enter with haste, then leave the game at the end of your turn. For this build, I've chosen to focus on a Reanimator combo strategy. Let's take a look at the basic functions of this deck and how these Reanimator combos work. First up is the infamous World Gorger Dragon and Animate Dead or Dance of the Dead combo. To set this combo off, start by resurrecting World Gorger Dragon from your graveyard with either Animate Dead or Dance of the Dead. Once World Gorger enters the battlefield with either Reanimation Aura attached to him, his first ability will trigger. All of your permanents, including the aura attached to World Gorger, will be temporarily exiled. With the Resurrection Aura gone, World Gorger Dragon is immediately sacrificed and heads back to your graveyard. Now that World Gorger has left the battlefield, his second ability triggers, bringing back all of your exiled permanents, including the aura that was previously attached to him. With either aura re-entering the battlefield, you are now free to resurrect World Gorger Dragon again and set off an infinite loop. Prior to World Gorger Dragon re-entering the battlefield, you can tap down your newly entered lands to generate you infinite mana. World Gorger is also entering and leaving the battlefield an infinite number of times, which can generate an infinite number of triggers for those as well. I've included spells like Fireball and Comet Storm to take advantage of the infinite mana drawn from this combo. There's also Impact Tremors, which can take advantage of the infinite ETBs to help win the game. Next up is Splinter Twin, an enchantment well known for setting off rage-inducing combos. Zealous Conscripts, Deceiver Exarch, and Pestermite are 3 creatures whose abilities create an infinite combo with Splinter Twin. First, attach Splinter Twin to any of the 3 creatures previously mentioned. Next, using Splinter Twin's ability, tap the creature to create a copy of it. When the copy enters, it untaps the original creature, allowing you to tap it again and create a third copy. Now feel free to make an unlimited number of Conscripts, Exarchs, or Pestermites. Combos aren't very effective if you can never assemble the pieces and actually use them. Runescarred Demon is essentially a diabolic tutor with wings. He's a fantastic Reanimator target, and you always love getting this guy on the battlefield. Limdol's Volt isn't technically a tutor card, but it does allow you to manipulate the top cards of your library and influence what you draw. Insidious Dreams is another fantastic add here. It allows you to deliberately discard reanimation targets and tutor for cards to draw into at the same time. Loot and Rummage spells are also an effective way to empty your hand of Reanimator targets and hopefully refill it with combo pieces or at the very least, spells you can actually use. Versatile spells like Faithless Looting that have a flashback cost and can be replayed from your graveyard, or Is It Charm that have a variety of effects, are especially valuable. My personal favorites, though, are Careful Study, Frantic Search, and Fact or Fiction. Frantic Search and Fact or Fiction in particular are very powerful. Frantic Search is at its best when you're digging for that last combo piece or an important counter or removal spell. Fact or Fiction is just a card that's always good. No matter how your opponents organize the piles, they're almost always picking between evil and slightly lesser evil. Let's not forget about everybody's favorite, wheel effects. Dragon Mage and Jace's Archivist are both solid Reanimator targets that can also wheel multiple times. Windfall needs no explanation. It's one of the best wheel spells in the game, and thanks to a recent reprinting, it's really cheap to purchase too. Enter the Battlefield effects are incredibly powerful, and this deck has a lot of them. Panharmonicon is an all-star in this deck. Being able to potentially double up the Enter the Battlefield effects of your creatures is disgusting. I've deliberately only included creatures that are going to generate value no matter what stage of the game they're played in. In order to create space to even pull off our combos, we have to be able to disrupt our opponents, draw cards, and just generally keep our board state intact. Also want creatures that make for solid Reanimator targets. The goal isn't to play a creature once and be done with it, it's to play it and reanimate it multiple times and abuse its ability repeatedly. Creatures like Corpse Connoisseur and Phyrexian Delver are also especially important. They help us set up our combos or reanimate our creatures and put us in a position to take over the game. Here are a few more reanimation spells I haven't had a chance to mention yet. Don't get hung up on Exhume allowing your opponents to reanimate a creature as well. Oftentimes, this works out way better for us than it ever will for them. The flashback cost on Dread Return is a little steep, but the versatility of it makes it worth it. Apprentice Necromancer is another solid add here. Being able to sacrifice him and exchange him with a Runescarred Demon or a World Gorger Dragon is just pure value. Of course, if it comes down to it and luck isn't going your way, we always have the Traitor King waiting in the wings to hit the battlefield and start wreaking havoc. The one drawback to Sedris' ability is that the creature you unearth is removed from the game at the beginning of your end step. That's why Sedris never leaves home without his trusty Sundial of the Infinite and Teferi's Veil. Sundial of the Infinite should be used at the end of your turn in response to the unearthed creature's exile trigger going on the stack. Ending the turn abruptly doesn't save the creature forever, it just delays its death until your opponent's next end step. However, it is a handy way to keep your creatures alive a little longer. Teferi's Veil allows our unearthed creatures to phase out after combat is finished. A permanent that is phased in or out ceases to exist from the game entirely. When the unearthed creature's exile trigger attempts to happen, nothing occurs because that creature currently doesn't exist. Then, during your next untap step, the phased out creatures will phase back in, and you'll be able to keep them indefinitely. A link to the full deck list is in the description. Go check it out and show it some love. Did you like this video? Do you want more like it? And leave me a like. If you're new here, subscribe and come join the Deck Builders Society. You stay classy, Deck Builders. I'll see you next time.